If your e-commerce store can't run without you, then that's not a business, that's a job. And that hit me really hard when I first came across it, because looking back, that is exactly how I used to run things. Think about this for yourself now. If you were to take just a week away, would your business fall apart? Well, that's not a business, that's a job. That's not freedom that you're building for yourself, that's a trap. So in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how I built my e-commerce business to run without me, scaling beyond £1.5 million in revenue, and at the same time taking myself out of the day-to-day running of that business. So let's dive in. The first thing we need to really show you is that your business probably looks like this, and it looks like this for the majority of founders when they first set up their business, and it's a mess. And everything within your business is not organized, it just happens day to day, like returns or email marketing, live chat, customer service, ads, refunds. Everything is just happening, and crucially, the most important part about this is that it all happens in your head. The way that the business runs is nowhere on paper, it's all in there. And that means that you become the bottleneck for your business. It means that you cannot delegate that business because there's no way of giving what you know away. And it's going to lead to burnout if you carry on that way. But there is a solution. And the solution to that is not scary, it's not intimidating, but it is crucial, and that is systems. So instead of having a business that looks like this, we need to organize it so it looks a little bit like this. Now, let me explain what this means. So your business needs to be set up into big systems, small systems, and SOPs underneath. So it'll look a little bit like this, and this is what I've done for my store. It's what's allowed me to scale, so stick with me. It's what has allowed my clients to scale to beyond 100k a month because things are now organized and run without them. And this is literally what takes you out of the day-to-day so you can live your life. So those three big systems that everything falls underneath is finance, operations, and marketing. And all of these things that goes on in your business can be simplified and put under those three columns. And then under those big systems, you have your small systems. So for example, under finance, you've got everything related to how you handle orders or invoices and dashboards. Under operations, you've got everything related to your customer service, returns, and hiring, etc., etc. And also under marketing, that's everything related to emails, ads, socials, etc. And then underneath your small systems, we've then got the SOPs, which is literally the step-by-step checklists for how you complete each of these small systems. So for example, this is the SOP I use for fulfilling orders. This is the SOP that I use and deploy into my clients' businesses for getting ChatGPT to assist with our product-related questions when we receive them for our store. And this is an SOP that I use for creating a blog post as well in the marketing section. So you can see there's a step-by-step checklist for everything that we do. And now to make this really drive it home, think about how this applies in your personal life. So if this was your life rather than your business, you will have the big systems of, for example, your morning or your job or your hobbies. And then under the larger system of your morning, you then have your small systems, which would be like your morning routine, first thing you do in the morning, or the way that you drive to work, or what you do when you get to work, all small systems. And if we broke that into the SOP, so the SOP, for example, for how you wake up first thing in the morning, the step-by-step checklist would show us that you get out of bed, that you brush your teeth, that you have a shower, that you get dressed, that you have your breakfast. And it is a way of documenting exactly how you do your life. Now, there's no point doing that for how you do your life because you don't want to outsource doing your life. But what we do want to outsource is running your business because that's how we can scale and get out of the way. It's how we can make sure that we're not the bottleneck, and make sure that we can delegate things and that we don't run into burnout. Okay, so that's why my businesses and the businesses of my clients are super organized. We've got folders for all of the way that the business runs for finance, marketing, and operations. So everything is systemized, and that's how we can run businesses and get to these big numbers. And if you'd like me to do that for your business, then feel free to book in a call, which is the first link in the description, and I can input that into your business as well. Now, how do we actually go about doing that? Well, let me show you. There's a 5-step method for how to build your business that runs without you. The first thing to do is to brain dump. So literally, all of the tasks that you do day to day, anything related to running your business, get that down onto paper initially. So that will be writing down, okay, so I do some answering emails, answering live chat, phone calls, or uploading a new product, or reaching out to a new supplier, or creating a new ad campaign. Just brain dump everything that you do related to your business on a piece of paper, everything related, just get it down. Next step, number 2, is to then sort those tasks using the Eisenhower matrix, which is a fancy name for these 4 Ds, and it's the way that we will categorize those tasks that you've just brain dumped. So all of those tasks will go into any of these 4 categories. So either you do the task, you delegate the task, you defer the task, or you delete the task. And to give you some examples, so you know what I mean by that, a task that you would do would be representing your business when you reach out to a new supplier for your store for the first time, or optimizing your ad campaign, or setting out the strategy for how you're going to drive traffic to your store. That would be things that you do. Things that you delegate would be answering customer emails. Things that you would defer would be or enhancing your website, something that's not the bottleneck right now, but can wait and should be done at some point. And the final thing is tasks that can be deleted. So there'll be something that you think is really important that can be deleted, like organizing your emails in an inbox. If that's a task on your list, delete that immediately. So once you've organized that, we can then go ahead and move on to step 3 of this process and create the SOPs, which are the standard operating procedures or a checklist of how you do things in the business. And we're going to focus initially on the tasks that we know we need to delegate, things that you should be doing as a founder. So for example, answering customer emails, create the SOP for how you do that. How do you respond? What tool do we use? Where do we find the emails, for example? Or answering live chat messages, how do you do that? Anything that you want to outsource, you can put that into an SOP. Once you've done that, once you've got the SOPs, you can pat yourself on the back because we can now outsource, because we're in a position where we've got things documented. So if we bring somebody in, they'll know how to do the tasks that you're asking them to do because they can follow the SOP. And to outsource, I recommend finding people who are expert at a very good cost. And for me, that's hiring people from the Philippines who are experts at running e-commerce businesses if they've got the right SOPs in place and they're very cost effective to do that. Now, I've always hired people from the Philippines. I've had one VA with me for now well over 3 years and another with me for over 2 years. And I've now hired loads of other virtual assistants for my clients because I've got a pool now, a talent pool of vetted virtual assistants that I can deploy into the businesses of my clients. If that excites you and you don't want to spend the time hiring people, then again, the link is in the description to reach out to me and we can put that together. Then once you've outsourced, we're going to then give the virtual assistant the autonomy to follow those SOPs, and we're going to wait to see what breaks or what can be improved, what can be made better. And then we'll just continually optimize that position. Once you've been through those 5 processes, we've then got ourselves to a point where your business is not going to be a job anymore that you do. It's actually going to be a business. Because remember, you need to go through that mindset shift of realizing that your job as the business owner is not to run the business. It's to build a business that runs itself. And the way to do that is to go through those processes we've done today. And you'll thank me when your business is scaled to 5, 10 times what you're doing now, because you can focus on the income generating tasks, you can focus on the strategy and really the top level tasks that matter. So if you want the shortcut to speed all that up, to systemize your business, if it intimidates you to get everything documented and systemized, then I will do that for you with my experience of running and scaling e-commerce businesses. And I'd suggest if you really want to scale and you don't want to burn out and you want to get to big numbers, then the best thing to do is to go ahead into the description, click the link, book in a call, and we can chat about your business and what's the right thing for you to do moving forward to get to your goals. With that said, thank you for watching today, and I'll catch you in the next video.